Welcome back to another episode of Braves Country News. I'm your host, Kale Diestel, along with me, my co-hosts Mick Barnett and Blake King. Today is December 9th, 2019, the first day of the winter meetings that are being held in San Diego, where our fearless leader, Alex Anthopoulos, is currently being held hostage. Coming out of the winter meetings, we have a lot of big news to cover for the Braves. Maybe not directly tied to the Braves, but just some speculation that's been that people have had over the past few weeks, maybe even a couple days for the Braves. So I'll let Mick. You want to hit the first topic point for us?
Yeah, man, the first thing we heard about was Mad Bum. He apparently came out, of course, after the Wheeler and the big Strasburg signing, saying that he wants nine figures, meaning 100 million more. He definitely wants more than 5 years. And we've heard with talks that they might be talking with the Giants again, but we're not sure on that. More to come for Mad Bum, I assume. But yeah, he's looking to get another big contract, probably more than Wheeler.
I'm not sure exactly where Mad Bum goes. I don't know if there's a team out there that will give him 5 for 100.
The
Um,
Braves are not.
but Braves are definitely not that team. Max, I think Braves would go is 3 for 54, is what I've heard from different guys on Twitter, is what the Braves would offer him at the max. So I'm not really too worried about getting Mad Bum or that price. But I'm not really sure if there's a team out there for that price. So if you had your hopes up for Mad Bum, just let him go. But yeah, we'll get off the Mad Bum train. Blake, you got the next topic point?
Yeah, the next topic point is about Francisco Lindor, the famed shortstop for the Cleveland Indians, and he's had he's been very hot this offseason, and it's a matter of time that we thought of when he was going to get announced to a different team, but it turns out the Indians prefer to keep him for another year, and so that's interesting. And also, the Braves just haven't talked about him in general, so it looks like we're riding with Dansby for a little while longer.
There's nothing wrong with riding with Dansby at all. As he kind of towards at the beginning of last year, he actually came out very strong. May have been more not necessarily right out the gates, but maybe towards May, June, April, especially before his injuries plagued him. But he also got hot again in the playoffs. So I mean, I'm not too worried about Dansby at all. But it would, I mean, obviously Francisco Lindor is a nice upgrade over Dansby. Defensive wise, can also hit for power and has a good average and has the speed that Dansby has, if not better. So yeah, it would be nice, but but it was reported today that the Braves have not even mentioned or had talks with the Indians about Lindor. So with that being said, expect a trade for Lindor to come soon. Um, but I really don't see anything happening for the Braves in that standpoint. Mick, you see
Yeah.
anything happening there?
No, not at all. I don't think that. I think the Indians definitely aren't ready to pull the plug, even though they should be. And the fact that reports have come out and said that the Braves and other teams literally haven't even talked extensively with the Indians about Lindor suggests that he's not being traded anywhere to anytime soon.
Yeah, so next news, I'll hit it real quick. Josh Donaldson, our fearless bringer of rain, he has been reported he wants a 4-year deal now, especially after Mike Moustakas got 4 for 64 or whatever he got. Um, but the 4-year deal is honestly looking more likely, not necessarily from the Brave standpoint, but from teams that have been mentioned, such as the Phillies, especially the Phillies, and also maybe the Washington Nationals, because the NLDH has been reported it could be open, could be brought into the National League in 2021, the DH that is. So JD, I know a lot of people, the 4 year, the whole reason they don't want to do that is because the defense decline as you age, even though he was a wizard this year at third base. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I don't really know if I would do necessarily a 4 year deal. I think 3 years, 75 is still the max I would go. Um, but y'all got any viewpoints on that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think the
go ahead.
Braves will make a 4-year extension to anyone over the age of 30 under Alex Anthopoulos. I don't think it'll happen.
Wanting a 4-year deal really opens the door um, for teams like the Phillies and the Nationals. And with the Nationals making that big signing on Strasburg, 7 years, $245 million. A lot of people think that that's not including, that they're out on JD now, but that actually couldn't be further from the truth that we've seen from reports. That actually makes them more inclined to sign, say, a JD, because now they're officially out on Rendon, as their owner has stated that they are not signing Strasburg and Rendon, and now we see why.
I get a very strong feeling that JD will either be a Philly or a national next season. As much as it pains me to say that, and I know as much as y'all want to see, not necessarily us, but the fans and the listeners of this podcast want to see JD back. It's looking more likely that he's going to be a foe in the NL East. So,
Which means that he's coming back to the Braves on a 2-year, $15 million option.
yeah, exactly. It's gonna, as we previously stated, AAA is going to do something we did not see coming. But with that being said, talking about third base, Blake, you want to hit us with the next topic point?
Yeah, of course. My favorite guy in the entire universe, Chris Bryant. Still haven't heard any news regarding any teams really with Chris Bryant. We've heard a little bit about the Phillies, and that actually wouldn't be surprising considering the chemistry Bryce Harper and Chris Bryant already have, and just bringing that in the clubhouse. But it would be horrible to just think that their top two third baseman options are the same as ours. But yeah, Chris Bryant, there's no news on him. There probably won't be considering the grievance is still being disputed between the Cubs and Chris Bryant and Major League Baseball. And until that gets settled, I don't see any of that talk going anywhere.
Yeah, especially with the Phillies. They like to say that they're in on Chris Bryant, but not even with the grievance, but the fact that we can offer them so much more with our prospect. We have such a great prospect field compared to the Phillies, who are slacking very hard in that prospect list. And so I think that the Braves making a better deal to Chris Bryant is a lot more likely.
Yeah, it was reported earlier that a Chris Bryant deal, what the Cubs would want would be Max Fried and a top prospect. I don't see AA doing that at all because Max Fried is going to be a very important part of the team this upcoming season. Whether it's being our number 4 starter, number 5. He's going to be very important because he can also pitch out of the bullpen, be a long reliever, whatever you need him to be. So I don't see Max Fried going anywhere. And personally, I don't know about y'all, but it would be hard for me to even give Max Fried straight up for Chris Bryant,
No, not at all.
It would be very hard. So I don't know, but I don't see that. I see like I said, we have a video out currently on YouTube. Chris Bryant to ATL ? Hosted by Mick and Blake. Check it out while you can. They talk about Chris Bryant in there, but like they said, the Braves haven't really talked about Chris Bryant. Per reports, so nothing really new there, nothing to see. But yeah, Mick, what's the next topic?
Yeah, so Anthopoulos said, coming out of his reports today, that they could acquire a possible Rule 5 man. With the roster expanding to 26 men on the roster, we think that Anthopoulos might go and get a hitter from the Rule 5 draft to kind of serve as a bench guy. But we're kind of questioning that because we've looked at the reports and we've seen who's available in the Rule 5 draft, and we haven't seen anyone that could even catch our eye as a backup. So we're not really sure where this leads us with Anthopoulos. I think he's just kind of trying to say that he can go many different routes with the 26 man, and he doesn't know how he's going to handle it yet.
Braves-wise, I'll kind of just hit real quick. Garrett Cole is expected to sign this week, and no Braves fans, he is not coming to Atlanta. If he does, I will personally pay each of y'all $100. You heard it here first. But Garrett Cole is not coming to Atlanta. He wants more than Strasburg. I've seen stuff such as 9 for 46 or something like that, wasn't it, Blake, or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, there was a report that came out today. I mean, he is 29 years old, so a 9 to 10-year deal sounds absurd, but the man has no injury history. And a team like the Angels, who need to compete while they have the best player, arguably, in the history of baseball, in his prime, I mean, you have to expand on that.
No, I definitely see Cole signing with the Yankees or the Angels right now. I think that's their top 2 suitors, obviously, with the Angels being able to spend, the Yankees being able to send, and, Cole's ties to out west.
All right, Braves fans, thank you so much for joining us with a little quick rundown of the winter meetings. We will have nightly recaps, where they may come out the day after, but we'll have recaps from the day before, from what the rumors we have heard about the Braves at the winter meetings. So be on the lookout. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video. Leave a like, please. It really helps us out. We're trying to grow. And if you don't follow us on Instagram already, follow us at Braves Country News. We also have a podcast that comes out. We try to get an episode out as often as we can, but it's the off season, so there's not too much news. But I promise you, if there's any big news, any big signings, we will have a podcast out. But like we said, we're going to have winter meetings, recap videos on the nightly for the next 4 nights, so be on the lookout for this. With that being said, remember, in AA, we trust. Peace.